Good evening, everyone. I believe I'm audible. So I hope you're all doing well. I think we're in week 5 now. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope the progress is going well. So today's topic is on interview preparation, which I think is very significant when you're trying to find employment in general words. So you may have the skills, you may have the experience, you may even have a good CV that has made it through the selection process. But the point you get to the interview, you flop because the way you express yourself is wrong, or the way you talk, or how you basically carry yourself does not portray the brand the industry is looking for. So with us today is someone who can speak on interview preparation. I'll go ahead and introduce Cynthia Njoroge, who is our speaker today. She is an accomplished human resource professional with over 4 years' experience in talent acquisition, employee development, and strategic workforce planning. She holds a Bachelor of Commerce in Human Resource Management from Strathmore. In addition, she is a certified human resource practitioner in Kenya and a member of the Institute of Human Resource Management. She is also currently pursuing a master's in management and organization development in USIU. So, throughout her career, Cynthia has played a pivotal role in bridging the gap between academia and industry. Her expertise lies in identifying and nurturing talent, ensuring that students and recent graduates are equipped with the necessary skills and knowledge to thrive in the dynamic workforce landscape. So, I'll go ahead and give Cynthia the floor so she can tell us more about herself and then delve into interview preparation. As you can see from her bio, this is her landscape, and I believe she has a lot of knowledge to share. Yeah. Cynthia,
Good evening.
karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Hope, and good evening, everybody. This is such a great turnout. I am quite excited by the number of people who just want to do their best once you are transitioning from school. So I cannot describe myself any better than Hope has just introduced me. Over and above everything you've heard, I am a lover of people. What this means is in this field, I am in the human resource field. All I want to do is ensure that once you get into the workforce, you have everything that you need to accomplish your purpose at the workplace. So please join me. Today's topic is quite important for all of us. And how we are going to go about this is we are going to first start by ensuring that your CV is looking very good. This is for the people who do not make it into the shortlist. We want to see why it is that you're not making it into the interviews. And then once we have all moved to the interview section, we are going to see what to do before the interview, what to do during the interview, and finally, what to do after the interview. So what we are going to do later is I'm going to share with you some of the challenges that I have seen with interviewees and really how you can be able to get over some of these challenges. So please do join me as we go through this together. I am looking forward to this session being as interactive as possible. Please, if you have any questions or if I am going too fast, please just let me know. You can always put your questions down on the chat box, and then one of us is going to be able to just stop me and let me know if at all there are any questions. But how we have structured this talk is we are going to have some few minutes at the end where you can ask all the questions that you need. We're also going to have a small mock interview where some of you will participate. So I hope you have the courage to do it. This is a session for you. So please do let me know how you feel before and after the session. We are here to just ensure that you feel as equipped as possible So thank you. We will start just
Hello,
a minute.
Cynthia.
Yes.
So I'll help you with the hands that go up so that you don't keep
Okay.
on switching tabs. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That
So
will
if
be
there are any
quite useful, my dear.
questions or yeah.
All right. All right. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay. So thank you. Thank you so much. So to start, did you guys know that in the cybersecurity market, the insurance is expected to grow by 20 billion by 2025? 20 billion US dollars. Did you also know that 1 in 10 small businesses suffer from cyber attacks each year? I will pause for effect. The insurance industry in the cyber insurance market, it is expected to grow by 20 billion by 2025. Basically, what this means is there is so much demand for cybersecurity in the market at the moment and in the foreseeable future until 2025, where it is expected to grow by 20 billion. If that is not good news for you guys, I don't know what is. Before we go to the interview, I had a story just recently, and the story is about a couple, an older couple in their 60s. And while they were doing their rounds, they were walking around, they came across a man, and the man told them that he's going to grant them two wishes. So a wish each person. And the lady went first, and she said, I wish that we could travel all around the world because we have all the time. And her wish was granted. When it came to the man, he said, I wish, very sadly, while I love my wife, I wish that I had married someone who's 30 years older than, who is 30 years younger than me. And his wish was granted. The man became 90 years old while the wife was 60. So basically, what this means for you is please be very careful what you ask for. Ask for something very specific because the man growing 30 years older is basically not what he had in mind. Now, we have already explained what the purpose of the interview will be, and we'll go straight into how do you craft a willing CV. I will put it on record that we do not have any structured way. There is no one way your CV should look like. We do not have that, and I don't think we are going to have that in the near future. Simply because we are very different people. Yes. But what we can assure you is that there are some things that you need to have on your CV. Number one is your contact information. Do you have an email on your contact information? Is that email professional? Please do not write jonte at gmail.com or Yusuf Kalish. Whatever it is that you usually write, please make sure that your email is as professional as possible. Please make sure that the phone number that you put on your email, one works and is the one that you're using at the moment. It is not the number that you had a few years ago or the one that the people that you have loans with are looking for you with. What this means is whenever it is that you start to apply for a job, you already know that there are people who might call you. So if you pick up your phone and you're like, what? Who is this? And you've not even given the other person an opportunity just because you have mixed your contact information, then this gives you already a very challenging time when it comes to having prospective employers. So please make sure that the number that you have is a number that you will always be having, is an email that is professional and is working. Working means you can receive emails through it. Now, once you have the contact information, Please ensure that you do not have personal details like your ID number. That is just too personal for you to be putting out in the open. Your ID number in Kenya can be used to do so much. So please don't put your ID number on your CV. Please do not put your gender on your CV. There's really no need for it. You might, but there's no value addition for it. Number three, please do not put whether or not you're married, whether or not you're single, whatever your marital status is, there is no value addition with you putting that there. If it does not help, please don't put it. Do not give people more information to judge you more than they need. So, in what way is your gender going to help you in this? In what way is your ID going to help in this job? In what way will your marital status or your age help you? So please, if you do have some of these things, please edit them out. Number two is the summary statement. This is not a must, but I have come to realize it's a nice have. Now, the essence of your CV is to match with the JD. These days we're using the ATS system. So that what the ATS does is it takes your JD, it takes your CV and matches it with the JD. And then we try and see which keywords that the recruiter wants are in your CV. So the idea is to have as much information as you can on your CV that relates to the job. So the summary statement comes to put in items such as I am a cybersecurity analyst with over 5 years of experience in this and this and this. So it is just a one statement, a very short statement. You don't need to write a paragraph on that because if you do not have a lot of work experience, I do not expect your CV to be quite long because what's in it? Your CV without or with very minimal experience should be at most 1.5 pages. And the half is really for the references that you're going to put. Without experience, I assume that you're going to put some of the volunteership that you're going to have had, that you're going to put maybe some of your coursework, so that it can get to at least that page. But having very little experience with 4 pages of CV, then it begs the question, what have you put in the CV? So the summary statement is just a small paragraph, as one line that states, I am a cybersecurity or whatever profession that you're in. I am a cybersecurity personnel with over 5 years of experience looking to work in this whatever role that is being advertised, looking to work as maybe as a data a professional hacker, something of the sort. Yes. Next, we go to the skill selection. Please highlight all the relevant technical skills that are in that JD. Highlight all the relevant technical skills that are on that JD. Those are the ones that are going to be matching. Highlight all the experiences, no matter how small you think they are, that relate to that job. Now, I don't know if you're getting the drift, but the whole essence is to make sure that whatever is in your CV relates to what is on the JD. You might have experience in as a cybersecurity analyst, yes, but they are now looking for a hacker. If they do not relate, please do not put it or try to put that information in a way that is going to relate to that hacker position. If you have any certifications, please make sure that you put them. When it comes to the education level, and the experience, please always start with the one that is most recent. So if let's say in 2024 you're doing a master's degree, please put that and then let us go as you move. So maybe it was a master's and then a bachelor's degree, however it is that you have experienced this experience or the education. Now, you might be somewhere saying, but my CV has all these things. Why is it that I still might not be getting shortlisted? Could it be because you have labeled your CV as my CV? Ideally, your CV should be labeled your name. So my name is Cynthia Njoroge. So my CV will be Cynthia Njoroge CV. Please don't label it anything else that as a recruiter, I will not be able to retrieve it. Number two, please save your CV in PDF format. All other formats, some systems accept all other formats. The challenge would be if you let's say save your CV in Word format. Whenever it is that you're transferring it to someone else, some things might change. Some format might change in the Word document. So saving it in PDF, well, it is not a must. It's highly encouraged. One, because your CV just looks very presentable. And two, it will get to the one that you intend to get to in the way that you intended. So that is quite important. Number three, are you applying for positions that you are not qualified for? So what this means is, let's say you're in the cybersecurity field and then you're applying for HR roles. Unless you've had experience in HR, I don't see how those two relate. Please apply for positions that you qualify for. Research has shown that women especially do not apply for roles that they do not meet half the requirements. This is a statistic. So as a woman or a female candidate, it has been noted that you will look at a job description, you will meet half of the job description, but if you don't meet maybe like 20% or 80%, you're going to talk yourself out of it. Now, ladies, please note, as long as you have more that what you know is more than what you don't know, please apply for that position. Sometimes we are not looking for expertise. Sometimes we are looking for more than just expertise. We are looking for leadership. We are looking for a culture fit. A culture fit means we already have the people, we are just looking for someone who's going to bring the people together. So please do not talk yourself out of applying. Always give yourself the best shot. I love how aggressive men are. A man will see a job that he has 1%. He only knows 1% of the job description. But the confidence with which he will apply the job is just unmatched. So please do apply for positions that you qualify. That means your skills match what is in that job description. You have the knowledge of what is in that job description. And please do not psych yourself out of a job just because there is one or two or three things that you do not have in that position. And that is something that even for us who are in the field, we have found ourselves doing. It's quite unconscious, but please be aware that sometimes we are looking out for you. It is you we need. Number four, how is it that you're applying for these jobs? There are some jobs that you're going to be told, please send your application to this email. How do you send to that email? Number one, you need to be able to identify yourself. Example, my name is Cynthia Njoroge, and then you need to say where you have removed the whole information from. So my name is Cynthia Njoroge. I am applying for the position of cybersecurity analyst. I saw the advert on, let's say, social media, and I am applying for the position of cybersecurity analyst. You know, you need to be very clear and concise. Please do not just send your CV and nothing else on the body, because who are you? Who are you? I mean, when I receive the email, I'll want to know who are you, and what is it that, why, what are you applying for? So we need to be very professional in terms of, one, have the subject as application for cybersecurity analyst or whatever it is that you're applying for. And in the body, please introduce yourself adequately. In that, I will be able to know what exactly you need from me. If someone has asked you, please send your CV to this WhatsApp number, have the same courtesy. Hi, my name is 123. I am applying for the position of 123. Please find my CV attached. You know, don't just send your CV to that number. Then the person will ask, why? What is this for? So it's really the communication bit of it that we need to be looking into. The other one, please understand the content of your CV. This is especially for those of us who have other people, who have professionals write these CVs for us. Understand what is in your CV, because when we transition into interviews, the recruiter is going to go thoroughly through your CV. So if you and your CV do not align, then that is a mismatch, and that is where we lose so many people. Uh, Always remember to customize your CV to the job you're applying for. Please do not have a standard CV. It just does not work for all situations. Remember, we have said that the ATS usually matches what is in your CV and what is in the JD. So if you use a standard CV, there's just no way that you're going to be getting these high matches. And if you're using an ATS system to try and match your CV, please always aim for a 90% match and above. Once you have seen the JD, what I recommend, and this is really an industry secret, please take what is in the JD and put it on your CV. Take it exactly as it is, put it on your CV, and then now start editing from your CV. In that way, you're going to have some words. What I mean by edit is try to fit it in. You just don't copy paste the writings. It will look very fast and we'll be able to see. So if you take exactly what it is there and then you start building your content from there, it's going to ensure that you have a higher chance of using the same words that were used, just in your own context. And then please apply, 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 apply. Do not stop applying for jobs, especially if you do not have a job at the moment. Your main job is to apply for jobs. The way other people will wake up and go to work, your whole purpose should be to wake up and start applying. How this works is you might use very different strategies. What worked for me when I was in this period of looking for jobs is I used to wake up and just search for jobs. I'll search for as many as I can and then use another day to start applying for everything that I have done. And then the cycle will continue. Whatever strategy works for you, please continue doing it. If you have not done 300 applications, please, you do not have any right to get discouraged. You will come to see what usually happens. So, job searching, especially in Kenya right now, we have very high rates of unemployment. So, and very few people who are recruiting. So, that would mean it has become a bit competitive. You just do not have any room to give up. You do not have any room to be lazy on applying for these jobs. You do not have any reason to not go out and offer some of your time and effort into either volunteership, either internships, or any other relevant work experiences that you might get to add onto your CV. So, ladies and gentlemen, please apply. Apply like your life depends on it. And like the story, please be very specific on what kind of employer you want. What kind of a job do you want? Will you be looking for a good work environment? For you, is it the pay? It is okay to have everything, but please be very specific. This would really determine what kind of jobs you're also getting. It is important to always land in a very good job for your first job, because this is going to create a tangent for you. It is important for you to get to an organization that values you as an employee. And there are such organizations. Please do not give up. Now, now that we have written our CV and our CV is looking good and we have been shortlisted, how do we prepare for the interview? Now we are happy. We are happy because our CV works. We are happy because the major challenge is usually to get shortlisted. Once you're shortlisted, it means you are qualified for this position. Someone has noticed you. You're being given an opportunity to go and fight for your opportunity. You have prepared adequately for this interview. Your second to the last step to getting to that job. So number one, do please be very specific on what kind of employer would want, what kind of benefits, what kind of work environment. Please do ask whenever it is that you're praying or you're sending some of these manifestations into the environment. Please do let God know this is exactly what I need from my employer. This is going to help you so much whenever it is that one, you are not getting any feedback from employers, because that happens. Out of maybe 100 applications that you make, some will not be they will not be responded to. Please don't take it personally. Others you will be responded to, but with rejections. And then there will be those that now will be inviting you to the interview, which is now what we want to prepare for. So please do not give up. We are still on the journey. Now, we have been shortlisted for this interview. What do we do? Now, we need to understand that interviews are there to establish whether you have the competencies for the job. It is okay that you have written them on your JD. Now, the interview is for the recruiter to be able to know, are they really there? How much can this applicant do? The interview is also to ensure that you have the knowledge, you have the interest, and you have the motivation to do whatever job that is being advertised. We have very different people and we have very different motivations for job. There is someone who wants this job because they genuinely want to have a source of income. They are at a point in their lives where money is a problem. So these people are very driven with money. There's someone who's there because they are doing something else. Let me get work as I study. So I'll have both of them at the same time. It is okay to have both. What we are trying to say is we all are driven by very different things. It is okay to want different things, but please do know what drives you, because that is what is going to inform so many decisions that we are going to come and see. So the interviews are also to find out what you like. What is it that you like? What are you interested in? In what area? It is okay. We have advertised for a cybersecurity um, position, but what area of cybersecurity do you really like, or would you thrive most in? Is it the hacking? Is it the ethical hacking? Yeah. So, what motivates you? What do you like? Because we have come to find out that if we give you roles that you love, you will thrive in them. you're more productive. When you're more productive, you do so much that it affects the entire organization in such a good way. We also call you for interviews to give you an opportunity to find out more about the employer. Is this employer someone you will want to work with? Ladies and gentlemen, please remember that interviews are a two-way traffic. What this means is while the employer or the recruiter is interviewing you, you are also interviewing them. Remember when I stated you need to be very clear on what it is you need from this job? Is it money? Is it a good work environment? Because we have people who already have jobs, but the work environment of where they're coming from was not as good, and that is why they're leaving. Yes. So really identify what it is that you want. Then, as you're interviewing, you get to understand who this employer is. Do they share your values? Is it somewhere you're going to grow? Because you do not want to be in an organization where 5 years down the line, you came here as a cyber analyst doing three roles, three jobs, three duties. And 5 years later, you're still doing the same duties in the same way. You will need to grow, either financially, mentally, um, any other way. You need growth in that 5 years. So this is the time. It is the time for you to be able to say, maybe my values and the employer's values do not align. Maybe this is not the job for me. Or maybe this is not the employer for me. It is allowed. Now, once you have already established everything that you need, why do we need to prepare? Because one, we need to make a very good first impression. What does it mean? As a human being, in the first 3 seconds that I see you, I have already made a judgment. It is in the same way when you got into this call, you have expectations, and in the first 3 seconds of you seeing my face, hearing my voice, you have already decided how this talk is going to go for you. I hope that to someone they have decided, let me keep listening, but there is always that perception of, maybe that might not have been the best. So it is in the same way. Whenever it is that people see you, this is the first time we are seeing you because we were just interacting with your CV. Now you're here physically. In the first 3 seconds we have seen you, we have already made a judgment. And it is very important for you, for us to make a positive impression, to have a positive impression of you. Now, um, let me stop there and see if there are any questions. Hope, do we have any questions so far?
Yes, we do. I see a hand from Martin.
Yes, please.
Hi, thank you. It's been an interesting session so far. So I
Okay.
only have one question.
Mhm.
So how do you write a summary statement if you don't have much experience according
Okay.
to, or maybe in regard to the role you're interested in applying for?
Okay. What I would do in that situation, or what you're recommended to do, is I am, let's say, cybersecurity professional. So this would mean you already have the qualification to do cybersecurity. So I am a cybersecurity personnel or profession looking to advance my skills in this and this and this through this position. So ideally, what we are trying to do with the summary statement is introduce you. So what skills do you have? Maybe not from experience, but what have you acquired from class? What skills do you have? Just very basically, I am a cybersecurity professional with this and this and this, looking to join your organization in this capacity. So in whatever it is that the title of the JD is. Martin, is that answered? Is it clear?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Also, if you do not have any work experience, or you're in school, please be sure to indicate in progress. So let's say if you have a master's degree, I have a master's degree in progress or awaiting graduation. You know, whatever your status is. Because remember, we have said that we need to put things that you can be able to justify on your CV. Please do not put anything that you cannot justify. So if your degree is in progress, please write in progress. If it is completed awaiting graduation, please write exactly that, so that someone cannot be here expecting you to give them a certificate and you do not have the certificate. Do we have any other questions, Hope?
So there's one more, and then I
Yes,
want to encourage the rest to put it down on chat so that we
yes.
give you ample time, and then we can
Okay,
open up just before 8 for the question. So
all
Nanfuka,
right.
go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, please.
All right. So my question was around certification.
Yes, please.
So maybe some among us, depending on how super you are in accumulating certifications, on
Yes,
your CV, how many is too many, if there's something like that,
hmm,
or yeah, how many is too many, as well as how many do I list? Do I list 5? Do I list 30? We have seen on LinkedIn, it says a certain number. Sorry, I'm outside
yes,
to
please.
that background noise, but that is essentially like how many certifications can I list that probably are related to what I'm applying for, as for example, a cybersecurity analyst,
Yes,
or it's a bit confusing because between your LinkedIn profile, which sometimes maybe we are not written as many, versus the CV. I mean, how do we strike the balance?
okay, that's a very good question. Thank you. So we remember we said your CV has to be very relevant to the job. So if whatever qualification you have is relevant to the job, write as many as you can. Please do not limit yourself to anything. As long as what you have studied is relevant to this job, because you do not know what I need as a recruiter. So write as many. If you have 10 certifications, you write everything. Because one, as a recruiter, I get to understand this person is highly qualified in terms of the skills and the knowledge that they have. So as long as it is related to your job, to that job that is being advertised, please go ham. Go ham on whatever it is that you want to do. Do not limit yourself.
All right.
Yes. So now let us go to the preparation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So why do you need to prepare adequately? We need to make a first good impression. We need to be able to prepare for some of these questions, and we are going to see these questions later. Once you have adequate preparation, then your confidence level soars. There's just nothing that is going to come to you that you cannot handle. Some questions you may not know, but just because you have encountered a similar situation, you're going to be able to maneuver. It's like an exam. An exam, if you have been in class and you've been attending class religiously and you have been understanding what the lecturer is saying, if you had maybe not read for the exam, you will not be zero. Maybe you'll not get 100%, but you will have knowledge to work with. So yes, we need to adequately prepare just so that we can build the confidence that we need you to have so that you can have that first good impression. Now, we need to understand that we have very different types of interviews. We have a screening interview. So this is one to determine if you have the skills and the qualifications for jobs. So we are going to see the communication skills, the interpersonal skills. So this is really, it goes very well with this one-on-one interview. So the one-on-one interview is where you meet an interviewer or a recruiter. So one person. And then there's the panel or committee interview where you meet with a group of people. Now, people tend to think that one is better than the other or one is more scary than the other. The fact is, if you prepare adequately for these interviews, it will not matter whether you have the whole world interviewing you or one person. The fact is, you will have the confidence and you will be adequately prepared for this interview. So it will not matter how many people are on your panel. And for panel interviews, please also always know that we have different people in that panel. So we will have someone who will be looking at the technical expertise. We'll have someone looking at your interpersonal skills. You know, maybe they will be a HR. The HR is there to look if you will fit into the organization culture. How is your personality? How is your demeanor? Are you really prepared for this job? So there's always, for the panel, people are looking for very different things. And that is the best because you will relate to some people. You might not relate to other people. So it gives you a better chance of doing very well in that interview, as opposed to a one-on-one interview where you will generally think that it's less scary. But if this one person does not vibe with you in terms of maybe you have not made a good first impression, then that one person has the entire liberty to just say, maybe this did not go on well. And then we have the stress interview. So the stress interview is basically a deliberate attempt to put you under stress. So this is usually for very high stressful roles. We will do that just to see how it is that you work. Are you those people who get stressed and just shut down? Are you those who thrive under pressure? So if you're applying for a role that is written, you need to work under pressure and you cannot work under pressure, please do keep away from roles like that because you do not know how that interview is going to be structured. Now, you have already known the kinds of interviews. What do you need to research on? We said the post. That job ad is what you need. You have everything on that job ad. You need to research on your employer. Who is this? What are their values? Are they making profits at this time? You do not want to go to a company that has been making losses or is on the verge of being shut down. Because now what will you be doing? You will be going from unemployment to employment and then straight to unemployment. But why do you need that hassle? So research the employer. Who are they? What do they do? Some of the things that they do, things that you value as an employee. Do they have CSR? What do you love about them, if anything at all? Yes. What is your motivation? We have said this motivation quite a number of times because you need to know exactly what is drawing you to this job. It cannot be because I am unemployed. That cannot be. What are your skills? What are your qualities? What are your weaknesses? How do your skills come through in this job? Do you have any questions for the employer? Now, this is where we were saying you need to really know yourself. And some of the things is, why do I want this job? Am I a suitable candidate? And what evidence do I have of that? And this is very key. What evidence do I have that I am a suitable candidate? What have I gained from my academics that is going to relate to this job? What are my greatest achievements? Because these are some of the things that we ask. And the reason for us to ask is, remember, this is a conversation. It is an interview. We are trying to know about you. So please be free. Do not give us rehearsed answers. We can tell. We can tell they're rehearsed. So it is how best do you use what is on the JD to bring out what is going to make me as a recruiter be like, that was actually quite good. Yes, and please do not feel pressured to always bring success stories. Sometimes we want to see how you recover from problems. So whenever it is that you're just telling me about things that you have done best, I worked on this project and this is what happened. I worked on this and this is what happened. Sometimes also tell us, I worked on this project. It did not go as best as I had hoped because this is what happened. We are going to see how you can be sharing some of this knowledge. Yes. But this is how I recovered from this, or this is what I have learned. It is not everyone that will come to an interview and admit that they may have failed. But you see, as human beings, we do not always have successes. We know you have failed at some point. So it is the courage for you to come and say, yes, I worked on this project. I was the leader in this. This is what I thought would have worked. This is the situation. This is what I thought would have worked. But this is what happened. This is what I have learned from it. It takes a leader to be able to know where they went wrong and do something about it. Now we are in the interview room. How do you interview? Are you aware that 80% of communication is nonverbal? You remember earlier we said that in the first 3 seconds, I have judged you as a recruiter. Judge in terms of how you look, how you have presented yourself. I have judged based on the confidence that you're exhuming. Ideally, what we need you to do is own the room. Come in like you belong to that room because you do. Out of 1,000 applications, we have shortlisted only 6, and you're among the 6. You have earned your rights to be in that room. So please act like it. Have a lot of confidence when you're getting inside. What do you do when you're getting into the room? So let's say you are at the reception and someone comes and ushers you into the room. Please mirror what the board, what the interviewer is doing. If there is a panel of it, if they're already seated, please always say hi to people. Say good morning or good afternoon or good evening, whatever it is, whatever time it will be. If they reach out for a handshake, please reach out for a handshake. Mirror. Mirroring means do what they do. Then you will know the organization. Well, then you will know the culture that is around there. If you're a lady and you're sitting, please put your bag very neatly beside your seat. Do not put things on top of the table. Then it can be very distracting. As a recruiter, we want to see you. We want to interact with you. Please dress accordingly. This means you need to have already researched. When you are researching the company, you need to have researched what their dress code is. There are some industries that just do not change. In the banking industry, they still require you to wear suits. In fintech companies, please do smart casual. Smart casual might mean some khaki and t-shirt and a blazer on top. If you're a gentleman, and if you're a lady, just a nice dress. You never go wrong with dresses. You would rather overdress than underdress. Overdress means maybe you are in a company that does not adhere to formal attire. Like our organization, we work in a firm, so we do not do formal attire. You will rather have a suit in that firm than come wearing leggings or Crocs. Please do not underdress. You will rather always overdress. So just know the industry, know what is expected of you from this. What is your body posture? Whenever it is that you're sitting, please be upright. We have said we want you to feel like you own the room because you do. For those 10 minutes or 30 minutes you'll be interviewed, you are the king, you're the queen. We have set out our calendar just for you. You have our undivided attention for those 30 minutes. So please sell yourself to the best of your knowledge. Be confident. Confidence is the best dress you'll ever wear. Be sure of the tone of voice. Please do not shout. If you listen to yourself, you will feel whether you're shouting or not, or you will feel whether you're too low. When people keep saying pardon, pardon, it means we cannot hear you. And at some point, people will get very tired of saying pardon and will just let time move. Or your interview will be cut short for some reason. So do control your facial expressions. You move with the flow. I do not want to say be sad, be happy, Nini. If it is a joke that has been said, laugh. Just this is a conversation. It's a conversation we'll have between you and a friend, or you and someone else. So it's really just very normal conversation. Now, how do we answer technical questions? You have the qualifications already. Your JD got there. So you have everything you need. You have the knowledge because you've gone to school for it. You have the knowledge because you have the experience for it. So these are things that you know. So what do I know about this type of work? What attracts me to this work? What is the relevant experience I have? Did you go to a shop somewhere or a cyber somewhere and this is how you protected people's data? What little things? You see, the things that we usually say are minute are those that we are going to add to your work experience. So an example is in network security. How do you have an understanding of the network protocols? Do you have an understanding of the firewalls? In threats and vulnerabilities, are you familiar with common threats like malware? What is phishing? What is social engineering? I mean, this is everything that you know. Now, how do we answer behavioral questions? So we have already figured out in an interview you will be asked a technical questions and you will be asked a behavioral question. So these questions are mostly to ensure that you have a good fit into the organization. We want to see, besides technical skills, what else do you have? You know? No, these are things that will ensure that you're thinking not just out of the box, but on your feet, because sometimes these questions can be, I mean, you can't even think about them. You remember when I said some interviews are stress interviews? They're meant to stress you out. So some of these questions can be in that way. But if you have an idea of how to answer them, then this is really going to help you. Now, some examples of a behavioral question is describe a situation where you had to explain a technical issue to a non-technical person. So describe a situation where you had to explain a technical issue to a non-technical person. This happens all the time with IT personnel. Whenever it is that they find people maybe in production who do not understand IT mostly, then you have to start telling people it is not a software issue. This is a hardware issue, or this is now a software issue, and this is what the server has done. People basically do not know what this server is. They just want to know, why is this desktop not on? So how do you explain to them? We have several techniques, and one of the techniques is the STAR method. So the STAR method basically is, one, you need to tell us what the situation was. You need, the T is for task. What were you involved in? Or what is this that you are doing? What is the task? A is for action. So what did you do? This was the situation. This was what was supposed to happen. This is what I did, and this is now the result. Now, and sorry, this is going to be a bit small, but from that example, we are going to give a typical example of what the situation is going to look like. So remember, the question was, describe a situation where you had to explain a technical issue to a non-technical person. The situation is, in my role as a cybersecurity intern at XYZ Corporation, I was responsible for monitoring and maintaining the network security. One day, we detected an unusual amount of traffic that suggested a potential distributed denial of service attack. So you've already told me what it is that you are doing and where it is that you are doing. So it is in my capacity as a cybersecurity intern. This is what we noted. The task, what did you do? So explain the challenge or task that you are faced with. My task was to analyze the traffic patterns, confirm whether it was indeed a DDoS attack, and then communicate the issue and mitigate strategy to the company senior. So that was my role. My work was to analyze and then communicate to the senior. And then what action did you take? Detail the specific action that you took to address this task. Specific action. First, I used our network monitoring tools to confirm the DDoS attack by identifying the abnormal traffic. So we have already said what exactly I did from the word go. I used the networking tools to identify the attack, to identify the abnormal traffic. Next, I collaborated with our IT team to implement our immediate countermeasures. So that you've already shown me you can collaborate because now you involved other people to come and assist in the situation. So I collaborated with the IT team to implement intermediate countermeasures such as filtering out malicious traffic and increasing capacity. And three, um, to explain the situation to a non-technical senior management, I prepared a simplified report and presentation. So he just did a report. You see how simple that is? Because the whole question was, how would you explain this to a non-technical person? I simplified the report and the presentation. I avoided using technical jargon and instead I used ideologies, um, likening the DDoS attack to a massive traffic jam intentionally caused to block the entrance of a business. Now, whenever it is that you're in such field, cybersecurity, IT, you're going to have so many jargons. In every business, in every industry, in every profession, we have jargons. So try to simplify the jargon as much as possible. We are usually told if you cannot explain what you're saying to a 3-year-old and they understand, you simply do not understand the topic. So if you cannot explain what DDoS attack is in a way that a 3-year-old is going to understand, then simply you don't understand the topic. And we all know 3-year-olds, they're very inquisitive. And you need to come down to their level in order for you to be able to communicate with them. So make it as simple as possible. And then share your results. What was the outcome of this action that you have put? As a result of my clear and concise explanation, the senior management team quickly understood the gravity of the situation and approved the necessary resources to bolster our defenses. The immediate measures were implemented and were effective in mitigating the attack, minimizing downtime to less than an hour and preventing significant disruptions to our service. So in a span of less than 3 minutes, you have told me what the situation is. You have told me what you are supposed to do. You have told me now what you did and what is the consequence of that. So what is the result of what you did? And you have said all that in a span of less than 2 minutes. Now, we are going to come back to this because of time. And now, whenever it is that you're in an interview, what is it that you should and should not do? Please have a firm handshake. Maintain eye contact. It's very important. Smile. It is not that serious. Whenever it is that you're getting into an interview, please note that there are only going to be two outcomes of that interview. One, you're going to get the job, and two, you are not going to get the job. There are only two. You're either going to get it and you're either not. And there's only one position. So, and you 6 people who have come to interview, at the very least, 5 of you are going to go back with no's. That should make you know genuinely whatever happens, there's going to be a result. And I'm going to be okay with it because I have given it my best shot. Give it 100%. Please, if you do not ever come late to interviews, that is just gives the impression that you do not care. And in the event something happens to you that is causing you to be late, please ensure that you communicate in advance. It shows leadership. It shows that you genuinely care about our time. As I have told you, we have booked our calendars for you. So if you come in late, then what happens to that scheduled time that I had? I might have other commitments that I had not scheduled for. So please do look neat, be relaxed, but very alert. Do not, under any circumstance, assume that you have any upper hand or assume that now everyone is friends with you. Always maintain high levels of preparations. Speak slowly and very clearly. Answer the question that has been asked. Please do not form your own questions. We have seen people do this. Just because they do not understand the question that we have asked, they form their own and then they respond very well to that question that they have asked. They have formed for themselves. Please answer what it is that we have asked. If you need more time, please always say you need more time. Some tactics of taking more time to answer is always just maybe ask for water if they did not offer you. And then as you sip, think about exactly what you want to respond. Those 2 seconds are important. Those 2 seconds will enable you to think about what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. It is always important to have a book with you, just on the table, just for you to write out your thoughts very quickly, or to have points that you can always refer to. um, do make notes, ask for feedback. It is important that you ask for feedback. Do not be discouraged. We have already said when you're coming in, you know there are only two outcomes to this. You can either get the job or do not get the job. If you don't get the job, you have come out as a winner because you have the experience. You have already interviewed the company. Maybe it is not where you want to be. And if you are very sure of your skills, and you remember we said you pray about it and you tell God exactly what you want. If you don't get it, please tell yourself, maybe this is not the job for me. It helps you to get over the disappointment. You have learned. You have not come all the way for nothing. Learn, learn, learn. Now, what to look for in an interview? Always negotiate. If you get to the part where now you have a salary offer, please do not take the first offer that comes to the table. Always negotiate. How will you be able to negotiate? Whenever it is that you are doing the company research, you have already researched things like the salary. What is the salary expectation for this role? Yes. So you already know. And we will always give you we will not come and tell you this was the budget. We'll first ask you, what do you expect? What was your salary expectation? And you cannot answer that question if you had not done a research. Please don't come and tell us, what do you have? You know, that is you asking a question with another. So what is your salary expectation? My salary expectation is, let's say, 50,000, because one, maybe that is what you used to earn in your previous employment. If you have not been employed before, please do look what is the starting salary for each organization. Also, different industries have very different periods. What you're paid in private SMEs is not what you will be paid in government. It's not what you will be paid in non-profits, that is NGOs. It is not what you will be paid in private institutions. So be very willing to go out of your way to research. You can ask friends, what is it that you guys earn? Then that can be your basis. Always put your phone on silent unless you have an emergency. And if you have an emergency, please communicate it beforehand. It is such a bad show of ethic and manners for your phone to start ringing, and maybe the ringtone is is maybe not one of the best songs out there. So please put your phone on silent. It shows a lot of respect to your recruiters. We have talked about checking on your dress code. What do we recommend? Please network widely. Some positions are never advertised. Some of us, because we do not want to go through the whole process of recruitment, we will ask our friends, do you know anyone who can do 1, 2, 3? Please be in a position where your friend is the one that is being asked. How will they know? Please tell everyone, I am here looking for work. If you hear anything to do with cybersecurity, I am here. So tell everyone that you can, that you're there looking. Because sometimes we have opportunities, we just don't know who will take this opportunity because we don't know you're interested. So tell your friends. You are one person away from knowing who is advertising for that job. Your friend might know a friend, who might know a friend who knows someone else. Volunteer for new projects. That is how you get opportunities. Practice, practice, practice. Sometimes you are not aware that maybe you use so much gestures when you're talking. Sometimes you might not be aware that your voice is loud at some point or your voice goes down. You might not be aware. Please have someone coach you. If not a professional, at least have someone else listen to you as you do your practice. Continuous learning. Please learn. You will always learn. It's called lifelong learning. Yes. Some things you will not learn in school. Some things it is experience. I pray you will always learn from other people's experiences. This whole presentation is from a combination of knowledge and experiences. Please learn. Do not put on a lot of perfume. You know, when you're getting into an interview, please, there are people who are very sensitive to smells. Cybersecurity is just a very dynamic field. Please stay updated with the latest trends and continuously improve your skills through courses, through certifications, and through hands-on experience. Let us remember that success is where preparation meets opportunity. Thank you so much for listening to me. I feel that this is a session that needs more time just so you can have adequate sessions to prepare and ask a lot of questions. I am here to answer questions if the facilitators will allow us. But thank you. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope that this has been valuable.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. It has truly been valuable. I think I was picking up things I need to change, things I need to update on my CV, remove things I do at interviews that maybe I don't recognize at the moment.
Mhm.
So, because of time, allow me to only take one question and then kindly let me send the rest to your inbox. I don't know if either LinkedIn, what platform would you prefer to be reached through?
Please look for me through my email address. My email is cynthia.nduta@outlook.com. I'm on LinkedIn
Okay.
as Cynthia Njoroge.
Okay. So
Yes,
I'll also share the slides. I know there's a lot that people want to ask, and I hope we can also invite you again so that we can actually, now that we've learned some more, we can talk about the changes we've made and make it more of a question and answer session.
yes.
So I'll take Stephen as a question because he was the first hand up. Stephen, go ahead.
For the it was quite informative for us. For example, like for me, I am almost through with school, and I've joined
Yeah.
this Cyber Shuja. So my question was
Yes.
about experience. For example, I am waiting for my graduation, and I have now this Cyber Shuja. What is I'm the best thing to write under experience on my CV? Because you find that you don't have or one does not have exposure to the job market or
Yes.
or the industry, and the person has the bare minimum studies for school, and maybe now for this say Bashuja. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it's such a valid question. If you find yourself with no experience, please put whatever it is that you have learned under the experience, and always try to find out what you have learned. How have you used it? It does not have to be in an organization. So maybe create, for me, let's say HR matters. I have used HR in whatever it is that you're doing. If it is in that small shop, what do you have? Because you just cannot have, you cannot fail to have anything that you have done. What do you have? Did you work on projects in school? Did you have any team collaboration in school? This is how now we start putting some of, you remember the skills that we were saying, the interpersonal skills. You put them. We were working on this project. So you mentioned what project is well at school, and this is the experience I got. We have learned how to do some ethical hacking or whatever it is that you have learned to do. So you must be having some projects that you have done in school. Put some of the content there, because I am sure it is the program is for a period of time. So in that period of time, what have you learned? Yes. So put that. If you have learned ethical hacking, in what way have you used that in your day-to-day life to help yourself and maybe others in that same situation? So it does not have to be work experience from big organization. Look into your life and see how it is that you have been able to use the knowledge that you've learned in school for your own personal life or to help other people. Yes, if you run a shop or you've helped your friend run a shop, how is it that whatever it is that you've learned, you have put it into practice in that period of time? You don't have to have been hired. But then your major goal also should be, is there something that I can do on my own? Is there a way I can increase my experience in terms of, maybe let me go and volunteer, let me start from an internship level? Please take whatever it is that comes, and then always filter out. But to answer your question, it doesn't have to be work experience from big organization or organizations really per se. In that small project that you worked on, what is it that you have learned? What is it that you did? Because I know you don't have experience, and you'll realize for starting jobs, they don't have very big things. It is things that you can have learned from everywhere else. If I am looking for management skills, how did you manage that team that you're in class with? How have you managed your siblings? If you have siblings, how have you managed your family members? That traveling group that you have somewhere, how did you manage resources or leadership? There's in every aspect of your life, there's just a way that you can implement what you have learned. So that's really going to help you.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Stephen, for that question. Cynthia, thank you so much for your time. I know we have a lot of questions, and I mean, interviews is where tech gurus, let's say it's our Achilles heel, because
Yeah.
that is where expressing yourself is an issue, conducting yourself. It's easier to communicate with a computer, right? So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Cynthia, for your time. Thank you for doing this. There's a lot. I feel like this can go on for hours and hours. There's a lot to go into interviews. There's a lot of practice that we need to do, even on ourselves, and a lot of things. I hope we've picked up stuff where you need to change, what you need to concentrate more on. And then I'll also share the slides and Cynthia's contact where you can reach out during working hours and you can get some of the questions answered. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So thank you so
Also,
much, Cynthia.
hope maybe if we would also like to get feedback on the session. So after the session, is it okay we can run a survey and just see how people felt the session went, so that we can know if their questions were answered, and maybe what we can do better next time.
Yes, that is well in order. I can send out that survey.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Let us have a lovely evening and have a good night. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Other data set
you.
documents, whatever.
Thank you.